Joining us now by phone, Florida Congresswoman Ana Paulina Luna. Congresswoman, let's start with Russia, Ukraine. President Trump has just imposed sanctions on Russia's two largest oil companies. Do you think this will force Putin to the table?
I think that there's definitely, never bet against Trump, especially in regards to some of these negotiations. Obviously, you've seen that Putin has come out and said that, he's not going to, react to pressure. But I do think that there is a willingness, especially when you have the fact that President Trump in the same sentence has also said, if we can reach a peace deal, then he's willing to talk trade. So I definitely think President Trump is going to land the plane, especially on these negotiations. And Matt, I will say that you know this, but a lot of members of Congress have gone to meet with, the Ukrainian delegation to support Zelensky. And very few members have been able to support the president's peace efforts to try to actually establish and index this war. And so I am still set to meet with the special envoy to the president of Russia coming up here pretty soon to help further those talks.
And what will you pursue in that meeting?
Well, first and foremost, it's going to be the first time, I think, since the 90s, really, that members of Congress have actually engaged with the Russian delegation. As you know, earlier this year, I was able to meet with the ambassador. That's the first thing that they pointed out. But I'm going to continue to carry the President Trump's message that obviously he's seeking a peace deal here. And ultimately, there is a big win, especially if the government of Russia decides that they do indeed want to index the war in Ukraine. Also in the same sense, though, there's a lot of people in D.C., as you know, neocons specifically, that are hoping that this escalates. So I think it's really important to note that President Trump also in the same sentence, though, did say that he was not going to be escalating the war and giving tomahawks to Zelensky, which Zelensky was really pushing for. So I think the president knows exactly what he's doing, and if there's one person that actually can help negotiate this peace deal, it's him.
You're also a close ally of the Vice President, J.D. Vance. He was recently in Israel. While there, the Knesset advanced legislation to annex Judea and Samaria, which some people call the West Bank. This is an explicit violation of President Trump's Gaza peace plan. What's your reaction?
Yeah, I think that it was insanely disrespectful and really kind of points a finger in the face of the United States, especially after how hard the president, Secretary Rubio, Winkoff, Jared Kushner, how hard they worked to all accomplish that peace deal. And I fully support the vice president in his statements, and I fully support the president in his statement directly to the Knesset that if they do anything to damage that peace deal, that there will be no more help from the United States.
Do you think Netanyahu wants peace?
I think that there are factions within the Knesset that are definitely under no circumstance going to accept a long-term peace deal. But ultimately, if Netanyahu wants to maintain a relationship with the United States, he has to understand that President Trump, especially on this topic, there is no other situation around the fact that if you cross the president, especially after he negotiated such a historic peace deal that has saved so many lives, that there's no situation that exists where he's going to be able to continue war and also cross President Trump at the same time. So I would advise him to listen to President Trump.
I do want to bring our focus back home. We are in the middle of this Schumer shutdown. What can you share with us about the prospects of bringing this to an end? What are you telling your constituents about how to prepare for the duration of all this?
Matt, you know this better than anyone else, and a lot of this has been political grandstanding. But what's really unfortunate is what I'm hearing directly, and this is from other Democrats, is that we're likely not going to be getting back to Washington until some of these health care subsidies expire, and then they're going to try to pivot their messaging on the shutdown and blame Republicans for those increases. The fact is that Democrats had the opportunity to pass a clean CR, and look, I'm not even a fan of CRs, but a clean CR is better than the ones that they load with a lot of other junk. And ultimately, it's the blame game now. So while they're advocating for, funding for locusts in Africa to stop it, here we are actually having service members that are potentially going without their paychecks and legitimate programs that need funding, like the WIC program, Women, Infant, and Children, that many people rely on, especially coming up on these holidays that they, need food for, that are potentially going to be running out of money. And so that's not a scare tactic, that's a fact. And I really hope that President Trump is able to land the plane on this one, which I think that the Democrats are going to start folding as soon as they hear more vocal from their own constituency, which we know over 70% of Democrats are not supporting what they're doing with the shutdown.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.